right, viewers, it's me again, DJ Aries. Today, I'm in Foritech Online Television, and today I have the CEO, Mr. Kwabena Ofori-Yeboah, the Bone Shaker. The Bone Shaker. The name is still vibrating. I know the old school boys, those who are have been in the entertainment industry for long, they know the name Bone Shaker. Bone Shaker used to be what? A dancer back in those days in Ghana. AFS, when you talk about AFS, he destroyed the whole Cape Coast to Accra, to Kumasi, and the late row, which is called the late row, and the ghetto, and so forth and so on. Bone Shaker, now he's residing in South Africa. He's the owner of what? Foritech Online Television and Foritech IT Solution. Today I have him in the studio. Bone Shaker, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Aries. We are back again for our generational wealth.
Wow, Bone Shaker, I can see your dress code. You went straight to Arabic, seriously. But before you speak, let me start with this. Salam alaikum.
Malaikum salam.
Thank you very much.
Before my host, you bombard me with the questions for people to enjoy. I quote, every opinion and saying are not from the Foritech Online Television.
Yes.
But it's coming from the panelists.
Okay.
That we are discussing. Okay. My dress code simply simplify that I'm going to the Arabic model of generational wealth. I'm going to talk about the Arabic model of generational wealth. So viewers, I want you to subscribe, stay tuned, stay focused, listen to it, like it, comment, and get the best insight. This thing is going to be about 10 parts. And after the 10th part, I know we'll create a lot of wealthy individuals. Thank you, DJ Aries.
Thank you very much. Today we're coming to discuss about wealth, how to rich and successful. You know, last episode, I think this is the 3rd episode, isn't it? The last episode, we were talking about how to create a sustainable business.
Yes.
That's what we end with. So we should start it from there and continue it.
Yeah, I think the penultimate one that I did, I spoke out about how to create, with your entrepreneurial skills, how to create a business which will be sustainable. But today we are going to talk about how, when you create the business and you are being termed as the owner or the CEO, how to sustain it.
Yes.
Now, viewers, listen. When you want to sustain, when you create, because you are creating a generational wealth,
Okay.
when you create a business, well, you as a CEO, you hire your employees.
Yes.
Okay. After you hire your employees, you become an employer.
Okay.
When you become an employer, the people that you've hired are your employees.
Yes.
Now, first, I want people to jot it down, viewers and listeners. The moment you start that business, you must know rule number 1. You as a CEO, you must be part and parcel of the business. When I say part and parcel, it means you cannot create a business and go home and sleep and people to manage it. You must be first person to manage the business. That's rule number 1.
Okay, that means that if you want to sustain the business, you always have to get a rules.
Thank you.
Wow.
Now, when we say rules, these rules governs the business, and these rules are being created not by you alone, because you set board of directors. Even if it has not reached the stage of board of directors, you can pick some of the employees to be part of you to govern and rule that business, no matter how small the business is.
And please, let me come in over here. Is the owner, the CEO, is he above that rules which they are going to
No. This is why I'm saying those set of rules are going to govern everybody who is part of it, including you, the CEO.
Oh, okay.
Now, why am I saying that? It's the same thing as the constitution of a country. No matter, regardless of how you're a president of the country, the constitution is the highest law of the land.
Yes.
No one supersedes the constitution.
Yes.
Now, in terms of this business, that rules is now going to govern you. And the meaning of the rules is that it's going to make sure that the business has got rules and regulation which is predefined for the business to be what? Successful. That's rule number 1.
Wow.
Now, rule number 2, or the second step, you make sure that all employees, that is the people that you have hired, receive remuneration. When you say remuneration, it's like a form of what? Salary.
Okay.
Or we call it a salary. Whether it is small or whether it is huge, but it is predetermined about the standards of how you pay a normal worker.
Wow.
Why am I saying so? Remember, the moment you don't pay your worker, the business will collapse. And why would it collapse?
Why would it collapse?
Because now people will not now put their 100% effort in.
Okay.
Some will destroy it by stealing things that are in.
Okay.
And some will also make sure that their efficiency, when you say efficiency, efficiency of a machine is 100%.
Okay.
Human being, our efficiency is 100%.
Okay.
Now they will not put in their 100%, they will put in what? 50%.
Okay, so that means that you have to pay the workers. In this case, are you going to use the criteria of the labor law, or you are going to pay them more than
what they are supposed to get?
Get.
Remember, regardless of where you have opened the business, you have to pay them according to what the laws of the land says.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have be found wanting at the wrong side of the law.
Okay, all right.
Now, this third step is very much important. And viewers, listen, those who are going to open business,
Yes.
you, the CEO or the owner,
That's rule number 3.
Yes.
Okay, rule number 3.
You need to be paid.
Mr. Forieboa, what are you saying?
You
The
need
money, you are the signature of the account.
Yes.
So what are you telling me that you need
Okay,
to be
good.
paid?
Remember on Sunday, I came to you for some business, and I said to you something about the payment of my salary by you guys. Listen, guys. Me, I'm going to be a rich man, because you know why? I understand the cost of riches.
Okay.
Now, when I said you need to be paid, listen. When you are forming up a business or a company, one, there are various forms of sections where the business has to ply. Where you have your human resource, your HR, your finance, or whatever. Now, why did I say the CEO must be paid? Remember, the capital that you put in the business needs to always to be there for them to use to acquire more equipment or more resources for the business to run. So now you as the owner, when you are part of the business and they don't pay you, and you dip into the capital, anytime there's a profit, you know what happens? You are collapsing the business. So now, this is what happens. When you set standard of paying the employees, they must set standards of paying you. The only thing is that your salary will go a little bit higher because you have incentives of the CEO, your car and stuff like that from the beginning. And then you will not earn much because it's a new business. When they pay you, they will pay you according to the predefined measures of your needs, not your wants. Because we want the business to grow. And then the remaining money that is left in the company will be left in the company business, which will be known by the finance committee. I know that is very painful that I'm the owner of the business. No. That is how you create a sustainable business.
So you mean all the board of the directors or the finance alone should know?
Exactly. Because you want to create a generational business. So why do you always want to be authoritative in terms of payment? Or regardless of even if they are paying you, you still be the final signatory of the account. You and the finance committee or the chairperson of the finance team. When you are doing that, you know what? You have first created the first successful business. You know why? Because your monetary aspect is being curtailed and being monitored by a certain section whereby the money is not misused or spent thriftily. No matter how. So viewers, that's the first, although it's the rule number 3, that's the first step of making a business one successful.
Wow, rule number 3. Viewers and listeners, you heard the rule number 3. Mr. CEO, the bone shaker himself, Mr. Kwabena Ofori, today he's teaching us how to sustain and create business, wealth for the business to generate something better. So today he started from rule number 1, rule number 2, and now we are on rule number 3. I know you guys are enjoying it. Please subscribe to the channel, Foritech Online Television, and don't watch it alone. Please share it to all your contact and make sure that you leave your comment too. You understand me? Because this one you will never get it nowhere. All right, Mr. Forieboa.
Yes.
So now we are going where? Rule number
4. In the 4th rule, you now have to make sure that the assets and liability of the company is unimaginable. When we say unimaginable, I'm going to explain.
Yes.
When we say asset, your assets are the things that the company is having.
Okay.
And your liability are the debt that the company is having. When you say unimaginable, it means that your asset must be more than what? Your debt. You know why? You must not have more debt in the company than your gains.
Wow.
You know why? Because at the end of the day, when we strike a balance, the graph, your capital must be more than how much you owe outside the company. In order for the company to be what? Self-sustainable.
Mr. Bonshika, please, I wish like you can come back again for this rule number 4, because this rule number 4 is technical and I don't know. Can you come back again and explain it well to
Okay, viewers, forgive me of my strong English language in terms of the liabilities and
the
whatever.
dramatic
I'm trying to let you viewers know that the nigger is understanding this game. But by the way, I'm just pulling up a string.
Yeah.
Now, rule number 4. In every company, successful company, they've got assets.
Okay.
They've got capital. And they've got liabilities. Liabilities will be what the company owes. Maybe you buy things on credit, on hire purchase. You pay some, you have some.
Okay.
Remember, even if you are paying your workers, it's your liability because your company is losing money to workers.
Okay, it's fall under the liability.
Yes. Okay. I'm saying that to be a self-sustainable company, your asset and your capital must be more than your liabilities.
Okay.
You know why?
Your assets and the capital must be
more than your liabilities. So that when you're drawing the graph, the capital and your asset will be up and your liabilities will be a little bit down. You know why?
No.
So that the company will not fall.
Oh, okay.
Because now, if your asset or your capital or your interest and your debt are the same, it means when you finish paying your debt, you are coming to zero.
Square zero.
Yes.
It's true.
So that is what I'm saying. Make sure your asset and your capital is more than your what? Liabilities. Your liabilities is what I've explained. So your debt.
So in this case, how will you control it for it to be more than?
Then you come to rule number 3. You, the CEO, must not overspend.
Wow.
You must not what? Overspend. You need to be paid by the finance committee. Now, I will end up on the rule number 4.
Okay.
The other rules will follow next episode.
Wow.
But I want to introduce you guys to some model called the Arabic model of generational wealth. But I will leave you up to you to ask me the next question. Yes.
Bonshika.
Yes.
In this case, how do you create a business and bring family members or maybe on board? Then you leave the legacy.
It's like you're a soothsayer, or you're a sangoma, or a fetish priest, or it was in my mind. That was the question I was going to talk about, and you've just asked me.
Okay.
How would you rope your family into a business? That's what you want to know. Now, viewers listening to me, you are creating a generational wealth. A generational wealth is what? You create a business where you can leave it for your generation up to your generation. Okay. Now, how would you bring your family in? 1, you identify which type of family you want to put in your business.
Okay.
Either your kids, your siblings, or your extended family. Your kids, your siblings, or extended family. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a trick. When you want to create a sustainable generational wealth, your kids at that time might not be old enough to take up the mantle. So 1, you choose 1 member of your siblings and you choose 1 member of your extended family. And then with them having a formal education, they might not be interested in the business.
Yeah, that's what I want to come to it.
Yes.
What about if those people who doesn't have a passion?
Yes. Let me tell you a secret. Because I'm wealthy, you will put them in a position whereby they don't do much in a company. Like what? An advisor to the CEO.
Wow.
An advisor to what?
Wow.
The CEO.
The CEO. Okay.
Automatically, the person is getting paid.
Yes.
It's not much for him to do.
Okay.
He or she will be interested.
Okay. So gradually you pulling them in.
You're pulling them in. Now, when it comes to your kids, where you want them to take up the mantle in future, you have maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 kids. You make sure that you introduce them to the line of business. Some along the line will not be interested. Some along the line will be interested. The ones that are interested, let them go to school for it. Now somebody will ask, what about the ones who are not interested? Wouldn't they be disadvantaged? No. See what Bone Shaker said. That's why I'm called Bone Shaker. When these people have a formal education about the business, regardless, even if it's a tomato, when they finally take over, because listen, when you are living a generational wealth, there's something called a will, which we'll discuss later. A will is a statement of foreseen happenings written by a deceased person who is dead, leaving up his properties for one person to take over. So now, when your will is written, your will says, although you have your family member and you have your sibling, your will now predetermine who takes over the company, and that is your kids. And they cannot take it from once a will is written. Good. That one, a family lawyer will do it. Now, the children, back to the question, the children who are interested and you've taken them to school will now take over the business when you are no more. And now, the ones who are not interested, for them not to be disadvantaged, they'll be given certain positions in the business, like the advisor, purchasing of goods, for them to be interested.
PROs and all that.
Yes. Even if they've got their own businesses, they will be roped into it, and then they would still do their business aside, but they'll be part of the family business. Now, I'm going to tell you the Arabic model of generational wealth. The Arabs, you know what they do, and that's why they're wealthy. When they have a business, the first thing they do, they look at their firstborn. They force you to be part of the business. The rest of them, if you are not interested, it's fine. And then the firstborn, whether a woman or a man, a boy or a girl, when you're part of the business, you take over. You use that business to look after the rest of the family when the leader is either old or dead. It's not only time when you are dead that they have to take over. Sometimes your health cannot let you go, so you can allow them to take over. So with this model called the Arabic generational wealth, they rope the kids into the business earlier so that they come and take up the mantle. So I believe in the Arabic model. I'm not saying believe in the Arabic model, but if you can try it, it's the best.
Wow. Mr. Shaker, you said something about that will-ish thing. You understand me? Your advice is saying that if you want the generational business to go on and go on, you have to get a will. So what about if a mistake comes? Maybe you didn't write your will. So in this case, how will it work? Can those people understand? Can you give us some small brief? Can you educate us? Can you educate my viewers and my listeners? Maybe you're about to write the will accidentally. You had an accident or something like that. Anything happened. You understand me? And there's no will.
Good. This question is a bit tricky question. So there is something called interstate succession law, which was passed, where when you don't write a will, the government is forced to share the will according to your kids, your siblings, and your extended family. So that one is rather unfortunate. They cannot give everything to them. But let me tell you something. The moment you are born and you know you've got any asset, even if it's one ceiling fan, please try as much as possible not to procrastinate. Write a will.
Wow.
Please.
Wow. You heard it from Mr. Bone Shaker, the CEO of Foritech Online Television. Viewers, I'm with him in the studio of Foritech Online Television. Please subscribe, and share it to all your contact. Please leave your comment if you feel like whatever which we are doing over here is going well. You like it. You understand me? You like it. All right, Mr. Bone Shaker, honestly speaking, there is a lot of business, family businesses, which some collapse, some is still going on till date. Let's take it like Gucci. Gucci was created by grandfather, great-grandfather till now. Now they sold the business moved out of them. Ford is great family. Still the legacy is going on and on and on. Coca-Cola, You understand me? It's still going on here and there, up to date. What is the secret behind? You teach us a lot, but please.
You want to know the secret behind why?
Some are collapsing and some are still being something. But the majority being successful is going on.
Okay, let me tell you. This is a trick.
Okay.
I told you. In rule number 4, if you remember what I said.
Okay.
And rule number 3, if you remember what I said.
Yes.
Now, when you want to live a generational wealth, you must follow the Arabic model.
Wow.
In the Arabic model, they bring in the successor of the business earlier. And that person is given a formal training. So here, the reason why some are collapsing is that they don't have anyone to take up that particular business. You know why? Because no one was trained to take up it.
Anybody.
Yes. So in Arabic model, they train you at an early stage to take up the business. So the reason why some of them become successful and some of them collapse and go into a different person is that there's nobody to take up the mantle. Okay. So if you follow the Arabic model, you become successful. It will pass on to your generation after generation. Now, I've got 3 lovely kids. I think they will show them on the screen. Okay. I've got Sonia, I've got Princess, and I've got Kweku, who is my last born, who is a boy. Mm-hmm. When the boy is 7 to 10 years, I'll start grooming him to be part of the IT fraternity. IT fraternity can go into all these media houses because now the world is into a global world where it's into a networking. Okay. I'll start enrolling him. He'll just watch how we do our things because you know why? I'm creating a generational wealth. So I'm starting him from the beginning what the Arabic model does. Now what about my girls? One of them says they will show their picture. The firstborn says he wants to go into the Navy. The secondborn says the firstborn says she wants to go into the Navy, piloting, Navy piloting. Okay. The secondborn says he wants to do culinary in terms of cooking. Okay. Now listen, my plan, they will do what they want to become. Mm-hmm. But for them to be part of the generational wealth that I'm creating, I'm going to create a business in part of the IT media solution, whereby when you are part of the Navy, the U.S. Navy, where you are doing, you will be dealing with the IT part of the Navy in terms of the plane. Wow. In terms of the cooking, where my daughter wants to cook, it's not going to be this cheap cooking. Okay. They are going to create a sophisticated robot model with the IT, whereby you no longer cut onions. The robot will do everything by the operation. And then he takes it back. Then what will happen? When he's learning the cooking, he will do IT to build up procedures of building up certain models which can make cooking easier at the kitchen. And it's all part of IT. So don't you see that they are all part of the wealth that I'm creating?
Yes.
So that's my secret.
Wow. All right, viewers and listeners, our time have been up. You understand me? I know you guys are enjoying this program. Seriously, I'm not lying to you. I wish Mr. Bonshika can give me more time, or my producer can give me more time, then I still discuss with Mr. Bonshika. But all the same, the time is up. We're going to continue. All right, Mr. Bonshika, please, can you give us, before you leave, can you give us a clue of the next episode, what we are going to discuss?
The next episode, we are going to talk about we're going to talk tentatively about a will of a company, and a will of a CEO, and a will of an individual. We'll give you an insight of why you must make a will, and why must the will of the company be made. Because in order for our generational wealth to come into place, for your family to take over, you need to leave up a will. Because you know why? You might put your siblings, your brother or sister, or your extended family, okay? Where when you are no more or you are deceased, they take over. Like the famous Asuma Banda.
Yes.
We'll be discussing it.
Yes.
And then also we'll be talking about how can you use money borrowed from the bank to create a generational wealth. And that is your liability because you have borrowed the money.
Okay.
We'll tell you how to sustain that also. Next episode. So stay tuned and you get the follow insight because I know people want to borrow money from the bank. Yes. And I'll teach you how to do it.
Wow. Mr. Bonsheka, thank you very much for giving us this free
thank you,
counseling on Foritech Online Television. It's been a pleasure for having you on my program.
Thank you. I think viewers, stay blessed and ciao. Bonsheka is always Bonsheka. We are going to be rich at the end of the 10th episode. God bless you.